Marty McCoy, the Lonely Ones. Welcome to RockEyez, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
No problem. First off, I got to congratulate you on The Bottom.
Thanks.
What an awesome song. I listened to it from this morning 30 times.
Nice.
I mean, it's so catchy, you know?
Thank you.
You know, it's not like a metal song or nothing. It's just like, for me, it's kind of like, like Struts or something like that. Like, something you could really get into.
Thanks, man. We're really a metal band. When we started the Lonely Ones, we kind of veered off from the metal thing. We started it at first. It was kind of like, okay, this is heavy. And then my voice I'm just not a metal singer. When Jimmy took over guitar, he's not a metal guitar player. We're more just like a alternative rock band.
Right, yeah.
Which made us really happy because it's what I kind of always wanted to do. And then when we finally just manned up and said, hey, let's just do what we want. And those kind of songs started coming out.
Yeah, definitely a killer song. When you write something like that, do you actually know that maybe this will put us over the top?
You hope with everyone. You hope everyone do that. Sometimes, sometimes you're like, this one's going to be the one that everybody likes. And they're like, bleh. And then, there's so many famous stories of people like, we hated that song and it was our biggest song. But I write a song in the band, we write a song together, we try to, really pour our emotions and our heartfelt, like give everything we got to every single song so that maybe just one of them will push us over to where we don't have to work jobs anymore.
Right. Well, the band formed in 2019, but you guys were already seasoned veterans during that time. And, is there any changes from your prior band to now musically?
Absolutely. It's a 100% different band. We still do Bobaflex stuff, like probably 6 to 10 times a year. And that's one of the times of my life. And that's with my brother. And I love that. And we still get to do it. But this band is a complete 180, has nothing to do with each other. Jimmy and I were, we had played together so much that we continued when, things slowed down with Bobaflex, we decided that we didn't want to stop playing music together. And it's totally different. We don't approach songs the same way. We don't, our guitar tones are not the same. Our drum sounds are not the same. We dress different. It's like we finally sunk really into what, like I said earlier, what we really, really wanted to do since we were kids. And that was be, an alternative rock band that sang songs that people wanted to sing back to you. And that people really, just, I hate to say lighter, but yeah, a lighter kind of more rock thing instead of, just as heavy as you could be. It's like, nothing against that kind of music. It's just not when I write, it's not how I feel. It's not how I sing. It's not the music that moves me like it used to.
Right. Well, definitely with The Bottom, you really get into like a groove and, like even the breaks in your vocals and like the high pitched part and the low pitched part. And it's really an exciting song,
Thank you very much.
It's excellent. That's
what we said. If it's not fun to listen to, then you're not doing it right.
It's fun to listen to, and especially watching over and over again, especially when you on your Facebook, you only put like 20, 30 seconds. Now you want to hear the rest.
Right on.
You want to hear, now you got to go searching for it on YouTube or whatever, which is onto YouTube. But I mean, like once you get to that 20 seconds, like I push it back to the beginning, Right.
So I've been watching marketing videos and trying to figure all that out. That's what I think. I think the band's got everything that we need musically. We sound great live. We really rehearse really hard and we really take our songs seriously. We just we're learning the marketing aspect of it. It's a new day and age of TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and those kind of things. And artists can blow up that way. But me being, a little bit older and from, the record label era and radio and things like that, it's like, it's a definitely learning curve, but I'm starting to figure it out, or I'm trying anyway.
Yeah. You guys put out a lot of singles and stuff like that, but you did put out a 12-track, release, The Lonely Ones.
Not yet. We did put out a CD live. So if you come to the show, grab a CD. People, we sell them. I can't believe we sell them. I thought nobody bought CDs anymore. Hell yeah, they do. but we just kind of wanted something for the people that came out to the shows to have something special that nobody else could have. And we'll slowly put out until we have a record. But us being a newer band and building our fan base and growing our fan base, it just really didn't make a lot of sense to put a record out. If you put out singles, then there's something new, something new, something new. And then, you know, people that kind of heard one song, if, you know, you hit them with another single and hit them with another single, then maybe eventually they'll push that follow button. It's, you know, we live in a day and age where you're bombarded with things constantly online. Everybody's on their phones. If you don't stay relevant, I mean, you can get forgot about quick. I've done it myself. I've come back like, oh shit, man, I remember that band that I thought was a really cool hook, but was doing something else and didn't follow up and you know, just got lost in the wash. And so we're trying to fight that, you know, that constant barrage of content and entertainment on your phone constantly. It's hard to stand out against somebody getting punched in the face in the parking lot or a cat, you know, smacking something. It's like there's so many silly things online that you just doom scroll through, and so to try to grab someone's attention, you kind of got to beat them over the head with it.
Cool. Do you reply to Facebook messages and stuff like
Absolutely.
that? Yeah, you do. Okay, cool. Who does all the networking? You?
Myself, Jimmy, Tristan, True, all of us. Just depends on, you know, who sees it at the time. Like I see it, I'll answer. Tristan sees it, he'll answer. Jimmy sees it, that kind of thing. So it's a 4-man team.
Cool. It's a lot of work, actually. You know,
it is. It's a lot of work. Like I said, I'm in 2 bands. I have a full-time job. I never sleep. But you know, I feel alive. Wouldn't want it any other way.
Right. Cool. Tell me a little bit about the merchandise that's available.
So like I said, there's a CD you can order. It's a 12-song CD. I think it's the bangingest CD to come out in 2024, if I'm being honest. A lot of T-shirts, a lot of stickers, stuff like that. We have we're getting ready to go on tour with the Black Moods here coming up. We just got off tour with Rehab and Scotty Austin, and then we're heading right back out. We have a 2-week lull. I'll head right back out in August. Just never stop. I mean, that's the only way to do it, is just get out there and, like I said, beat people over the head. And eventually, you hit them enough times, they'll give in.
Oh, cool. You do a pretty amount of cover tunes, and Brian May made a quote about one of the songs, and that's got to be amazing. Just the feeling of someone like that stature, you know, making a quote.
It was probably top 5 coolest things that I've ever had happen to me. It was amazing. So we did the song. I'm a huge Queen fan, huge Flash Gordon fan. And the way it actually worked was our publicist, Shauna O'Donnell, she can get a hold of anybody at any time. She's an absolute badass. So through her diligent work and through Sam J. Jones, Flash Gordon himself, we met him. He heard the song and he really liked it. So between her and Flash Gordon himself, they kept sending it to Brian May, and he finally listened to it. And then I woke up one morning and there it was. Shauna called me and said, "Oh my God, Brian May heard it. He loved it. He's going to give you a quote, and he thinks it's fabulous, and couldn't believe that you did this version of it, and stayed so true to it." And so we did it because we wanted to. We heard there was going to be a Flash Gordon movie, that they were going to redo it. And I was like, "Shit, let's do the soundtrack, and let's do it. Try to do it better than anybody else can do it besides Queen. You can't beat them, but you know, don't do this weird new version where it's, you know, whatever. It's like hammer this rock tune and try to nail it so that we could get on that soundtrack. Unfortunately, the movie never got made, but it was cool. It was one of those things where, as being a new band and we're going to do a cover, it's like, let's challenge ourselves. Let's do something that nobody else has done. And if you ask somebody, hey, let's do Flash Gordon, they would tell you you're crazy, which I thought at first too. Jimmy said, let's do Flash Gordon. I was like, you're out of your mind. And then as it got going, I was like, oh, I think we might be able to pull this off. And then we had to pull it off live, which is another mountain to climb, but we pulled it off. And it I think it really tightened us up and gave us the confidence as a band, like, oh, we can do, I wouldn't say do anything, but we can do a lot of things that we thought weren't possible.
Cool. And when you do a cover, who decided on the song? Is it like a team effort, or?
Yeah, for sure. and it just kind of hits you one day. You're listening. Like I put my headphones in to go to sleep on the bus, and everybody else does too. And like every now and then, somebody will wake up and go, "You know what song I forgot about, or what song made me cry in my bunk last night for no reason?" This one, let's cover it. And then they'll say, "Marty, what do you think? Can you sing it?" Or they'll like, "Marty, we think this would be perfect for your voice," or that kind of thing. And we have a new cover that we recorded, and I can't wait to release it. And I think it's one of the best songs ever written by one of the coolest bands in the world. So it's finished, and we brought in a bunch of local artists that we thought were great singers from Columbus, Ohio, to help us out on the chorus, and it's going to be a good one.
What recommendations would you give a newer band, the pros and cons about music?
I mean, the cons are, it's hard. There's a lot of really great musicians out there, a lot of really talented people out there. I would say do it like you would, like if you're going to do it for, if you want to do it for your living and you have to live, breathe, you have to be obsessed.
Right.
To be obsessed and learn how to write songs. Cover songs. I'd never been in a cover band before. As soon as I grabbed my guitar when I was 8 years old, I started writing my own songs. Horrible at first. But I think, listening to your favorite songs and learning how to play those will show you, where you change chords and how these songs fit together. If you listen to like 20 of your favorite songs, 18 of them have the same chords in them.
Right.
And I remember being that way, like, oh, I can't do that. I have to be weird for the sake of being weird, or I can't go to this chord because it feels so natural that's just cheating or whatever. It's like, no, there's a reason why it feels natural, because it feels good. So learn how to write songs like you're obsessed with it. Learn how to play your instrument like you're obsessed with it. And then become obsessed with social media for now, because I think that's the way bands break is, bands are breaking on TikTok and YouTube. And I don't know about Facebook that much anymore. That's kind of for the older generation, but Instagram, anytime I talk to someone, they're like, "Are you on Instagram? Are you on Instagram?" So I think, people are holding MTV in their hands.
Right.
And they're looking all day long. And people say, music industry's dead. It's not dead. It's alive and thriving. We just get it in a different way. So I think, you have to be your own manager. You have to be your own marketing strategist. And if you're young, you kind of grew up with these apps and you kind of grew up with this stuff. So lean into that really hard. Become obsessed with those three things: writing songs, knowing your instrument, and showing it to people.
Did you always want to go into music, or was there another field that you wanted to do?
If you ask me today, what would I do? I have no idea. From the time I was a tiny little kid, I was like, I want to play music. I want to play music. I have no other skills whatsoever. I can cook, but I don't think that I don't think I want to work in the kitchen.
Right. Yeah.
I've done all kinds of jobs. I was in the military as a stonemason, laborer. Carpentry work as a laborer. I've done all kinds of stuff, and all I do the whole time I was there was think about playing my guitar and think about writing songs in my head. So, yep, nope, nothing else ever.
Okay. So what's your best meal you cook?
I can cook about anything. I'm not a great baker, but steak, chicken. I like to do I have Guy Fieri's cookbook. I think one of my favorite meals to make out of that is Cajun Alfredo chicken. I like to cook. I do all the cooking at the house here with me and my lady. She taught me how to make Alice Springs chicken, which I didn't think I would like, but it's really good. Right. But yeah, I can cook anything. I make the Thanksgiving dinners, make the mashed potatoes from scratch, do it all. For some reason, I really like to cook, and I really like to have that setting around the table and everybody eating and that entertaining thing at the house. So I really like that a lot. And my girlfriend loves it.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I do all the cooking at home too. I can't bake like you. I can't bake. I can't even make brownies.
I can't. Not my thing. You know what I mean? I can read directions for sure. Right. But my lady, she's the baker. But I cook everything. I love to cook. It makes me happy. It feels like I'm like the grandma. Are you hungry? You sure you're not hungry? Did you get enough to eat? More. I love that shit.
Oh, cool. Does it bother you when you're cooking, people in the kitchen?
Not at all.
It does me. I want them out, because I don't want them to see what I'm putting in there.
Right on. I love But I don't want to be a cook. No way. Seems like a very stressful job.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Tell me how you were in high school as a kid.
Oh, as a shithead.
Yeah,
I didn't want to go to school. I was terrible. Like, so not to get all, but I had like fuck terrifyingly high or crazy attention deficit disorder. So I couldn't sit still. I hated being in school. I would watch the clock every second go by. I couldn't stand it. And then I would get out of school and I would just dread, I have to go back tomorrow.
yeah,
I made a decent enough grades to pass all the way through, and I wish I'd have done better. Now that I'm older, I'm like, we should have kicked ass in school. It wasn't that hard, but I was just obsessed with. I just wanted to get home and play my guitar. And then my parents were cool enough to let me have a band at the house, like so we could rehearse at the house. And then once I sat in a room with a bass player and a drummer, that's all I wanted to do. I didn't even want to play my guitar by myself. I was like, come over, come over, come over. And so we started writing songs when I was 11 years old. And and so I was obsessed with it and then still obsessed with it. I would practice 8 hours a day if they would let me. If the other band members didn't have lives, we would practice 8 hours a day.
what was it like writing your first song?
It's like exciting. I remember thinking, oh, this goes here and this goes here. That sounds good. And that doesn't sound good. I just remember it being so exciting. And it was almost like, some kids get that way when they read a book or play video games.
Right.
It was like this puzzle thing that came together. And I would get obsessed with other songs and why is this song so good? And why does it feel like it rises here? And you slowly figure out things like, oh, the drums are getting lighter in this part or the guitar, clean. And I remember figuring out one of my favorite things that ever happened to me was I went and saw Stained play, the band Stained, and we were opening. It was years and years ago, and I remember watching the guitar player play in sound check, and I was there watching. I do that still, watch all the sound checks and watch them load in, and I'm just obsessed with all of it. So I was watching him play guitar, and I thought he was on his clean channel, and he was actually on his distorted gain channel. Then he cut the clean. I was like, what the hell? And then the band kicked in, and he was it was so clean and clear. Like, when you're in your bedroom playing guitar, you turn your gain all the way up. And you think it sounds great.
Yeah.
And then you go out on stage and people are like, yeah, you guys sound all right. You don't understand why. But this was a huge puzzle piece to me when I was younger. I thought, man, that guitar is so clean. That's got to be his clean channel. And it was his dirty channel. And then the band hit and I could hear everything everybody was doing. And it was so huge. It knocked my head off. And it was a light bulb moment, like, oh, take your gain, turn it down. Yeah. You think that's turn it down just a little bit more, and you could hear them go, you could hear all the strings, and they exploded in the room. And it was one of those changing moments. I have many moments like that with writing and getting tone and with my voice and stuff like that, where you have those light bulb moments go off. And that was one of them. I'll never forget that.
Cool. In your younger years, did you collect anything?
No, I did not. I still don't collect anything. I have a lot of guitars now. But no, I never got into sports or collecting anything or nothing like that. I was just obsessed with writing songs.
What's your feeling about vinyl coming back?
I think it's amazing. And listening to vinyl now, I thought, oh yeah, vinyl sounds better, whatever, man. Nothing sounds better than CDs. And then I got back into it, put my first vinyl record back on. I was like, oh my God, it sounds so much different. And it sounds like live. I think it's great the vinyl's coming back. It's coming back in such a big way that even huge artists like Tool or Clutch can't get their vinyl till 6 months, 7 months out. Yeah. There's only so much to make vinyl. Here's what I always thought was funny. Imagine if I'd have told you 15 years ago, let's buy a vinyl press and start pressing vinyl. And it's going to cost about 20 grand to buy one of these machines, but I promise you it's going to pay off. You just said, you're out of your mind.
Right.
And then it's back.
Yep. And they're making all different kind of colors and splattered and everything now. It's pretty cool. That gatefold, albums, and it's enjoyable.
It sounds amazing. It sounds incredible. We did the vinyl with my other band, and I hadn't heard it yet, and we waited and waited, and then we did this like record store signing thing, and they put the vinyl on, and I heard the record. I'd heard the record 100 times on in my headphones or in the studio even, and then when it finally hit the vinyl and played, it was like so much different. It's like, oh, I don't know how to describe it. But that's when another light bulb moment went off. I was like, that sounds alive.
Right. What's it feeling like having that big album cover in your hand?
Oh, it's great. That's why, you got to do that big artwork so you can hold it in your hand. I remember being a kid and buying albums just because of the artwork.
Right.
Some were duds. Some of them were the most classic albums ever made.
Yeah.
We were getting Appetite for Destruction, and that cross on the front was like, what is this? And just got it. It was like, this is the greatest record ever made.
Cool. Now, when a guy comes up to you having an album cover and stuff and asking for your autograph, what's that feeling like?
Oh, it's amazing. I sign it, make sure I sign it right under my picture, and make sure I'm nice and neat. Doesn't stick and scratch it, make sure it looks good. It's an amazing feeling. To be able to play music for a living is, it's like mainline and joy.
Cool. When you're doing a live show and you're looking at all these people in front of you and stuff like that, what's that feeling like? It got to be amazing, huh?
Yes, I would say describing it, it's going to go kind of deep. Describing this idea, this little spark of an idea in your head, and then 4 guys get together and they work out this little spark into this living, breathing song, and then you go into the studio and you record it. And sometimes, most of the time, it turns out better than you thought it was going to turn out. And people's ideas, here's what I thought it was going to sound like, and someone comes in, well, I had this idea, and it grows into this living thing. And you take that living thing and you go on the stage, and one person makes a mistake, this train could go off the rails. So, right before the set starts, you have this feeling of breathing in deep. Oh my God, because when the show's over, you're going to be covered in sweat. You might be covered in blood. You're going to be exhausted. Your throat's going to be, sore. So right before that roller coaster heads down over the hill, it's this, big rush of anxiety and big rush of butterflies. And you hit into that set, and these 4 people, these 4 human beings do this thing that shines this light out into the crowd, or shines whatever this music out into the crowd. And if you do it just right, that light hits the people in the audience, and they feel what you felt from that spark all the way up until now. And it's a spiritual, cathartic moment that I can't, unless you do it. And the larger the crowd, the bigger the bigger the light, the bigger the feeling. And it's just, that's how I describe it. It's spiritual. It feels like a connection to something else, and I can't live without it.
Wow. Tell me a little bit about touring. Is it really grueling or just enjoyable?
There's moments, there's moments that are grueling, long drives. On this last run, we drive ourselves because we're not at that level yet. And we followed the heat wave across the United States, and our air conditioner went out, of course, in our vehicle right as the heat wave hit. So that was pretty brutal. Getting out in 100-degree weather and feeling relief because you're out of the vehicle and 100-degree weather doesn't feel as hot as it did inside the bus. But I really enjoy being in the band and that sense of adventure, and coming into a city at nighttime. I do a lot of the driving at night. We all drive, but I drive a lot because it's, what am I going to do? Sit in my bunk and scroll through stupid shit on the internet. So I just drive, and I do a lot of writing when I drive. I don't listen to music when I'm driving. For some reason, it's like, it just takes me out of my head or whatever. So, but I love that adventure of coming into new cities and seeing the city lights at nighttime, and pulling in places and like, oh, we got a little bit of time. Let's go see this. Let's go see that. So it is grueling. Once you get home after a long tour, you're ready to be home, but it doesn't take very long at home before you're ready to go again. Let's go.
If you got to get on tour with somebody, one of your favorite bands, who would that be?
I'm really digging Queens of the Stone Age right now. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Queens of the Stone Age. I just saw them live at Welcome to Rockville here in Florida, and it was unbelievably good. It was upsettingly good. They were so good that I was like, Jesus. And then the Foo Fighters were on that same bill. I love the Foo Fighters.
Right.
Love that band. Love that story. They were so good. Who else? Royal Blood. I love Royal Blood. I love that new kind of got this disco feel kind of rock.
Right.
You know, something you can move, shake to. The Struts. I'd go on tour with the Struts today.
Uh-huh.
They called and go, let's go right now. There's a lot of really great bands out. And I mean, I listen to a lot of stuff. I'm kind of obsessed with Florence and the Machine right now. I mean, there's so many bands. Dead Poet Society. Have you heard of them?
Yes.
Oh, I love that band. Highly Suspect.
Oh yeah, they're good too.
Oh yeah, there's so many great bands out, and it's that kind of alternative rock thing. It's kind of got this '90s feel a little bit, but it's also got this kind of dance feel, and it's you know, it's not just a regurgitation of stuff. It's got its own thing, and I'm hip with it. I'm ready to go. I'll go. Des Rocks. I think Des Rocks rules.
Right.
So great bands right now that I'd love to go on tour with. Call me.
Cool. So what are the plans for the rest of the year?
So we go out in August, September, October, and then we're going to spend November, December at home, kind of recharge, kind of let our girlfriends know that we still exist. Not just face on FaceTime or a phone call.
Right.
Looking to see what's going on in January, February, start it all over. We're going back into the studio. We come right off the road in August. We have like 2 days off, and we're going to go straight back into the studio. So just recording new music and just constantly we're musicians. We're a band. We put out music. That's what we do. And then we go out and play it live for people. And the numbers are starting to grow, and the Spotify numbers and all that stuff are starting to move the needle. And so it feels like, and we're starting to get bigger shows and shows with bigger artists and stuff like that. So just continue to do that and see where it takes us.
Cool. Who decided on that little video clip on for the bottom? Like, it's a little bit different than any video I actually saw that you have on Facebook.
Yeah, we shot it on the phone, and I put some weird effects on it on CapCut and said, there you go. Didn't have any time. We're like, gotta do something. So I was like, here. Film was playing in the garage right before we went on the road. I mean, that was like an hour before we loaded up to get on the bus. And I was like, we gotta have something. So then I put some weird effects on it on CapCut and said, all right, this is what we got.
Oh, cool. I liked it.
Got that vintage kind of, do-it-yourself kind of vibe.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what it was.
I liked it. So that's pretty cool. Well, Marty, it's great talking to you and stuff like that. The Lonely Ones, the Bottom, fantastic song. Go check it out. Go check out the band. And would you like to say anything to the fans out there?
Yeah, thank you guys so much for sticking with us. Thanks for rocking our music. Thanks for coming to the shows. That's, like I said, I can't live without it, and I can't live without you. So thank you so much for always following us and always being cool and giving us a chance and putting our music on your playlists. It's a feeling that I can't describe, and it's all because of you. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks a lot, man. Talk to you later.
All right, brother. Later.
Bye-bye.